You used to trace the lines on my skin, like you were learning where I break. Said you never let the darkness win. Said my heart was yours to take. But somewhere between your silence and time, you stopped trying to understand, and I became the only one, still holding on with shaking hands. Ooh, stop talking, I feel the space. You stopped fighting, I took the weight. I held the pain for us, so you wouldn't have to feel it. I carried every broken piece and pretended we could heal it. You never saw the cost of loving you this way. I was bleeding in your arms while you slowly walked away. I gave you more than love could give. I gave you all I was, and I held the pain for us. I learned to smile through every tear, learned to hide what you wouldn't see. You stopped whispering I'm still here while you were disappearing from me. I stayed awake beside your sleep, listening to your quiet goodbye. You looked so peaceful in your dreams while I was breaking inside. I told myself love meant sacrifice, but love shouldn't feel like losing your life. I held the pain for us, so you wouldn't have to carry it. I buried every shattered hope and swore I wouldn't bury us with it. You never felt the fall, you never heard me break. I was drowning in your silence while begging you to stay. I gave you more than you could love, more than you could trust, and I held the pain for us. What hurts the most isn't that you're gone, it's how you never knew how much of me I had to lose just to keep loving you. I was your shelter in the storm while you were my endless rain. I gave you somewhere safe to stand while I stood in all the pain. Now there's nothing left to carry, nothing left to say, just the echo of your footsteps and the love you never gave. I held the pain for us until there was nothing left of me. I gave you every fragile piece of who I used to be. You never turned around, you never saw my fall. I was holding up our world while you let it crumble. Lord, I gave you everything I had, even when it was too much. I held the pain for us, but you never held me once. Very silence holds me close, where your arms used to be. I held the pain for us. Now it's all that's left of me. I heard the change before I saw the truth in the way you said my name. It sounded like something you used to love, but didn't feel the same. You still slept beside me every night, but you were miles away inside. And I kept reaching through the silence while you let the distance grow wide. I thought if I loved you harder, you wouldn't slip through my hands. But love isn't something you can force when someone doesn't understand. I lost you out trying to hold you close. I gave you my heart, you gave me your ghost. I was fighting for us, you were letting go, and I didn't even know. Slowly, piece by piece, trying to be what you needed me to be. I memorized every fragile sign, every pause in your voice. I ignored the truth I felt inside, like I still had a choice. You stopped looking at me like before, stopped seeing who I was. But I kept pretending we were fine, because losing you was too much. I told myself love had seasons, that this cold would turn to spring. But I was the only one freezing while you didn't feel anything. I lost you while trying to hold you close. I gave you my heart, you gave me your ghost. I was fighting for us, you were letting go, and I didn't even know. I lost you while trying to make you stay, while you were already walking away. I broke myself slowly, piece by piece, trying to be what you needed me to be. I would have carried all your pain if you would just ask me to. I would have stayed through every storm if you needed me to. But you were already gone in your heart long before you left my side. And I was still building our forever while you were saying goodbye. Now I'm standing in the quiet, holding words you never said, trying to understand the ending while reliving what we had. I lost you while trying to save our love, while praying to God above. I gave you everything I had, even when it made me sad. I lost you while trying to be enough, while you stopped believing in us. I broke myself without you knowing, just to stop you from going. Now there's nothing left to hold, nothing left to prove. I didn't lose you all at once. I lost you, I lost you while trying to love you. You said you never felt that way, and you pulled me in so tightly. I remember the way you left, like the world was finally kind. Back when loving me was easy, back when you were still mine. Now the silence fills the room where your promises used to be. You say you barely think of us, but that's not how it is for me. I remember everything, every word, every touch, every forever you promised that didn't mean that much. I remember how you held me like you never let me fall. Now you say it's faded, like it was nothing at all. You might forget the love we made, like it was just a dream. But I remember everything. Coffee cooling by your side, the way you brush my hair away and look at me with pride. I remember every late night talk about the life we built. Now those dreams are empty rooms, and the silence feels so real. You say it's better this way, that time will make it clear, but I still see a shadow every time I look in the mirror. I remember everything, every fight and every kiss, every time you said my name like it was heaven on your lips. I remember how we promised we would never turn to strangers. Now you passed me on the street like I was never your forever. You might erase me from your heart like I don't mean a thing, but I remember everything. I remember the moment it changed, the way your voice went cold. You stopped reaching for my hand, like my touch no longer felt like home. I remember trying not to cry while you were pulling away. I remember loving you even on your worst days. Maybe one day I'll forget the way you made me feel alive, but right now every memory still cuts me deep inside. I remember everything, every tear I tried to hide, every night I stayed awake with you sleeping by my side. I remember loving you more than I loved myself, while you were already moving on to someone else. You might say it didn't matter, that it was just a flame, but I remember everything. And maybe that's the hardest part of letting you go free. You don't remember us anymore, but you're still everything to me. stopped saying my name, like it didn't belong in your mouth anymore. You still held me, but it didn't feel the same, like your arms were just going through the phone. I saw the distance behind your eyes, but I told myself love needs time. I kept watering something dying, hoping it would come back alive. You stopped trying, I tried twice as hard. You let go slowly, I held on in the dark. I stayed when I shouldn't, I loved when you couldn't. I gave you my heart when yours was already gone. I waited for words that never would come. I broke myself just to keep you whole. You let me drown while I pulled you close. I knew deep down, but I didn't run, I stayed when I shouldn't. You stopped asking if I was okay, stopped caring how much I hurt. I learned to smile through the empty space, learned how to come second to your world. I memorized the sound of his silence and the way he slept so peacefully, while I was lying there beside you, losing every part of me. I told myself this was just a phase, but love shouldn't feel like begging to stay. I stayed when I shouldn't, I loved when you couldn't. I gave you my heart when yours was already gone. I waited for words that never would come. I broke myself just to keep you whole. You let me drown while I pulled you close. I knew deep down, but I didn't run, I stayed. What hurts the most isn't that you left, it's how long you stayed without loving me. You watched me fight for something dead while you were already free. I was holding ashes in my hands, calling it a flame. You were already walking away, while I was begging you to stay. I lost myself loving you, piece by piece, breath by breath, and you never even noticed when there was nothing left. I stayed when I shouldn't, I gave you everything, you gave me nothing. I believed in words you never said, I kept loving you inside my head. I held your heart when you dropped mine, ignored it's hiding in the walls. I hear it when the night gets quiet, when the loneliness calls. Your picture's face down on the table, but I know it by heart. Every line, every shadow, every place we fell apart. You said love would never fade, that we were stronger than the dark. But somewhere between your promises, you let go of my heart. Love left me behind, standing in yesterday, watching you walk away. Like I was easy to unwind, I was still holding on tight while you were already gone. I didn't see the warning signs. Now love left me behind. You stopped reaching for my hand, stopped saying we out loud, started building quiet walls where I wasn't allowed. I tried to fix what I couldn't see, tried to be enough, but love doesn't survive on hope. When one heart gives up, I kept fighting for the spark you were letting die. I was begging you to stay while you were saying goodbye. Love left me behind, standing in yesterday, watching you walk away. Like I was easy to unwind, I was still calling your name through the silence you designed. You let go without a fight, and love left me behind. Did you feel the moment it slipped away, or did it happen slow? Was I the only one still believing something we both used to know? I replay the nights in my mind, searching for where it changed. But love doesn't send a warning before it rearranges everything. I would have stayed through every storm, through every tear you couldn't hide, but you chose the easy ending and left me on the other side. Love left me behind, with your ghost in every room, with me that bloomed at the worst possible time. I was still loving you, and you were already fine. I didn't know I'd lose you twice, when love left me behind. Now the nights feel colder than before, and your side of the bed's still mine. You walked away without a tear, and love left me behind. The end came softly, like a falling thread. No slammed doors, just words we never said. Your shoes still lined up by the wall, like you might turn around after all. The night stood still, watching us fade to strangers, wearing love's old shape. Your eyes were calm, mine filled with storm. You looked away like I wasn't yours. I kept waiting for you to break, to say something to beg me to stay. But silence told me everything. Love was already slipping away. The end came softly, Your voice was gentle when you said my name, like you were trying not to cause more pain. But kindness hurts when love is gone. It means you've already moved on. I searched your face for something left, a spark, a sign, one last breath. But all I found was someone new, standing where I thought I knew you. You didn't tremble, you didn't cry while I was breaking inside. You carried peace in your goodbye. Well, I lost my whole life. The end came softly, without a sound, no shattered glass, no crashing down, just your hand slowly letting mine fall free, like you were already done with me. No final fight, no tears you showed, just a quiet heart turning cold. I would've stayed through all the pain and loss, but the end came softly and it still cut across. I think the loudest pain is calm when love disappears without alarm. No warning signs, no last embrace, just distance growing in your face. I would've begged, I would've tried if you had let me see you cry, but you were already somewhere else while I was still losing myself. You walked away so peacefully, like I was easy to leave behind. And I stood there in the quiet, watching you erase my life. The end came softly, like fading light, no wrong, no blame, no final fight, just your heart closing its open door, like you never loved me before. No shattered screams, no angry words, just the cruelest kind of hurt. I would've carried us through every loss, but the end came softly and it still cut across. Now the room still holds your shape, but you're already gone. And the end came softly, while I'm still holding used to reach for me in your sleep, like losing me was your worst fear. Now there's a quiet space in between, where you don't even come near. Your voice don't carry the same warmth, it barely says my name. You look at me like I'm a memory you don't wanna explain. I kept waiting for the old to return, but I was the only one who still burned. You changed without me, while I stay the same, still loving you every single day. You let go slowly, I couldn't see. When you stopped loving me, you built a life I don't belong to, right in front of my eyes. You changed without me and left me behind. I remember how you held my face like I was your whole world. Now you barely touch my hand, like it's something that hurts. You stopped telling me your dreams, stopped letting me inside, and I watched us fall apart. I tried to fix what you wouldn't show, but you were already letting go. You changed without me, while I stayed the same. Still calling out your name. You stopped seeing who I was, stopped believing in us. You walked a road I couldn't follow. No matter how I tried, you changed without me and left me behind. Did I miss the moment your heart moved on? Was there something I didn't do? Or did you just wake up one morning and decide we were through? I would have changed with you if you asked. Would have grown by your side, but you left me standing in yesterday while you said goodbye. Now I'm learning how to breathe again in a world you're not in, trying to find the strength to let this end and begin. You changed without me, without a warning sign. I was still yours, you weren't mine. You stopped loving me in silence, left me here in the violence of every memory we designed. You became someone I don't recognize. You changed without me and took my heart when you said goodbye. I can't escape. I stayed too late. I still sleep on your side of the bed, even though you're not coming home. Your coffee cups where you left it, lipstick faded, but I leave it alone. The clock still ticks like you never left, like time don't know you're gone. And I talk to your shadow in the hallway, but it don't answer anymore. Yeah, I try to hate you, I try to heal, but memories don't break on command. I'm holding pieces of something you already let slip through your hands. You forgot me first, before the goodbye ever came, before the silence learned my name. You walk away without the hurt. I was still loving you with your words while you were already gone in your mind. I didn't know it then, but it hurt the worst. You didn't leave me last. You forgot me first. You forgot me first. Your jacket still hangs by the door. I like you walking out of the rain. I swear I heard your voice this morning, but it was just my heart in pain. I read our messages over and over, looking for where it changed, trying to find the exact moment when I became someone you couldn't save. You stopped reaching, you stopped seeing me, but I stayed blind. Did you feel lighter when you dropped my hand? Did you sleep better without me there? Did my name fade easy from your lips, like I was never everywhere? I still carry you in every breath, even when I try to move on. It's hard to bury something that still feels alive when it's gone. You forgot me first while I was still yours completely, still loving you so deeply. You put out the fire without the burn, and I was the last to learn. You forgot me first before my heart could understand, before I could let go of your hand. You erased me without a word and left me loving what you'd already lost. I stayed when you didn't care, still finding you everywhere. I didn't know it then, but it hurt the worst. You didn't leave me last. You forgot me first. Now I whisper your name to the dark, but it don't sound the same anymore. You forgot me first, and I'm still remembering you. You kissed me like you meant it then, like I was all you'd ever need. You held my heart so carefully, but never promised you would keep. You gave me nights that felt like truth, soft words under silver skies. But every time I reach for you, you disappear behind your eyes. I felt the distance in your touch, even when you pulled me close. You gave enough to make me stay, but never gave me all your soul. You loved me halfway, never all the way through. You left a part of you untouched, no matter what I do. I gave you every piece of me, every hope I had inside, but you loved me halfway, and I stayed for the other side. You said my name like it was yours, but never wore it with your pride. You let me stand beside your heart, but never let me live inside. I learned to live on maybes, on promises, without a ground I built forever in my chest. While you were halfway out, I kept believing love would grow, but you were already letting go. You love me halfway, just enough to make me believe, just enough so I wouldn't leave, just enough to make it hard to breathe. I gave you more than you returned, more than you could ever see. You love me halfway, and that was enough to break me. Did you ever feel what I felt then? Or was I loving you alone? Was I just somewhere you rested, never somewhere you called home? I would have stayed forever if you'd only met me there, but you left me in the middle of the love you didn't share. Now I'm holding all the memories while you're already free, trying to learn the hardest truth you were never mine to keep. You love me halfway, and I gave you way, and I loved you all the way. You held my face in your shaking hands, said my name like it was your prayer. You swore I was your only plan, said forever was waiting there. We built our dreams in quiet nights, on whispered hopes and fragile trust. I gave you all my broken parts, believing you would hold them up. You looked at me like I was home, like you never let me go. You promised forever once, and I believed every word. I let your love rewrite my world, even the parts that used to hurt. You promised time wouldn't change, that I'd never stand alone, but forever turn into a memory, and I'm the only one still holding on. I remember how you traced my scars like they were lines you would never leave. You said my pain was safe with you, said you'd carry it with me. But promises don't mean much now, they fade like breath against the cold. And every word you left behind feels heavier than you could hold. You stopped reaching for my hand before I knew you had other plans. You promised forever once, and I believed every word. I let your love rewrite my world, even the parts that used to hurt. You promised I was all you need, said my heart was your home, but forever turned into silence, and I'm the only one alone. Did forever only live in that moment? Did it die when you walked away? Was I the only one who meant it when you said you'll never change? I replay your voice in my head, trying to find where it went wrong, but forever didn't last forever. It barely lasted long. I would have stayed through every storm, through every tear you couldn't hide, but you left me in the middle of forever with no place left to survive. You promised forever once, and I gave you all of me, every hope and every dream, every fragile piece I couldn't keep. You promised love wouldn't fade, that you never let me fall, but forever was just a word to you, and I was nothing at all. You promised forever was, and now forever. Now forever lives in yesterday, and echoes I can't outrun. You promised forever once, but forever